60% of what we put on our skin absorbs directly into our bloodstream. So we have to be
Wow.
careful, right? What are we putting on our skin? So the naturopath didn't identify the reason I got sick was because of my skincare. I started asking why.
Mhm.
Why? I work out, I have a trainer, I eat clean. What's going on? And so I knew our beauty care wasn't that clean, but hey, I wanted to look pretty and have the latest color,
Yeah.
everything. I started looking at the ingredients in my skincare, in my beauty care, perfume, makeup, hair care. And that's where I found the endocrine disruptors, the ingredients that disrupt your
Mm.
hormones. And I was so upset, disappointed, and then angry
Right.
that this is allowed to
Oh my
happen.
gosh. Georgina,
Hello.
so
Hi, how are
excited
you?
you're
Oh my gosh,
here.
thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so excited too.
I know you really well,
Yes.
and now I want everyone else to know you. So
Thank
you
you.
are the founder of Alani, an organic skin care line, but it's much more than just that. We're going to dig into that today and share a little bit about your brand and your backstory and what you've been doing. But before we do that, I do have to tell everyone congratulations because you are
Yes, pregnant.
expecting
Thank you.
twins,
Twin identical boys.
which also
Yes.
I believe is like a big part of the
Huge.
development and the creation of the brand that you have
Yes.
started. You are also our 2024 focused winner for the Boost Your Business grant. And you have just been doing so many incredible things. So I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Yes. Can't wait to talk all about it.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about your brand. Go ahead and give
Yes.
us like a quick rundown. What is it that you do? What are your focuses in clean, organic, healthcare, skincare, all the
Yes, all
things?
the things, health
Yeah.
and wellness.
I was like, it's not a skincare line. There's so much that you
There's a lot.
offer.
Yes, thank you so much. So, Alani Organics is an organic, non toxic, natural beauty store. So, we partner with brands from around the world that use ingredients that aren't toxic, they're natural, organic, and they actually work. Because you can find natural products,
That's the key. I
right?
love that you were like, they work.
They work, they perform. Yes, they do what you want them to do versus other natural products out there. They don't quite have that performance. Yes, so we started about a year and a half ago and the journey has been amazing, kind of difficult at some time, a little bit
Yeah.
challenging, but
Yep. Yep.
that got us to where we're at now. So actually the beauty products that I was using before got me sick.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I
Yes.
love every good business and every solid business always starts with a need, there's a gap, there's
Yes.
a situation, a circumstance that happened,
Right.
and it was that you were using all the things.
Everything. Right. I love glam. I love dressing up,
Yep.
makeup, hair, all that good stuff. And all of a sudden I was having skin issues and I never had issues before. So I had breakouts, hives, rashes, even eczema. And I'm like, what is going
Oh my
on?
goodness.
I was in my early 30s. So by then, you're out of the puberty age. So you
Right.
shouldn't have
Why is
skin
acne?
issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on? And then I just started feeling not myself. I was tired, lethargic, depressed.
Mm.
Even if I got 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep the night before, I just didn't have any energy, no will to thrive. And you know me now, I'm a
Yeah.
happy,
Yep.
positive, outgoing person. I'm like,
Always.
let's get, things
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And so even my husband, he commented, he's like, something's not right. And I knew something wasn't right. So instead of going the conventional route, I saw a naturopathic doctor. And she's the
Mm.
one that uncovered that my hormones were in balance. I had thyroid issues and adrenal issues
Wow.
already at my early 30s, and I didn't know much about it. So she talked about, yes, you have hypothyroidism, which is my thyroid wasn't producing enough thyroid hormones, which gives you the symptoms of tired, fatigue,
Wow.
even dry skin and weight gain too. So was gaining a lot of weight, even though I was working out 6 times a week, eating clean.
Hello, I feel like a lot of women here are like, yeah, that's me right
Right?
now.
What's going
Okay, so
on?
you realize that you have these things. Were they able
Yeah.
to like track this back to like the toxic products that you were like, I mean, because your skin is living, it's ingesting
It is.
everything
It's the
that we're
biggest
putting
organ you have. Yeah,
on. So, or like
exactly.
environmental things, right?
Yes. And 60% of what we put on our skin absorbs directly into our bloodstream. So we have to be
Wow.
careful, right? What are we putting on our skin? So the naturopath didn't identify the reason I got sick was because of my skincare. I started asking why.
Mhm.
Why? I work out, I have a trainer, I eat clean. What's going on? And so I knew our beauty care wasn't that clean, but hey, I wanted to look pretty and have the latest color,
Yeah.
everything. I started looking at the ingredients in my skincare, in my beauty care, perfume, makeup, hair care. And that's where I found the endocrine disruptors, the ingredients that disrupt your
Mm,
hormones. And I was so upset, disappointed, and then angry
right.
that this is allowed to
Oh my
happen.
gosh. Yes.
And it caused me to feel ill.
Right.
So I started throwing those out, doing my research one by one, trying to find products that were clean. But I got very overwhelmed by all the ingredients.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
How do you identify these ingredients? And sometimes the names are changed as well because consumers are becoming more intelligent.
Sneaky. Yep.
Right. It's that whole greenwashing marketing. And what that
Yeah.
is brands will put maybe 3 natural ingredients and then label it
Yep. Natural, organic.
yeah,
Yep.
clean ingredient. And then you look at the rest and you're like, wait, actually, this is not safe
So you
for
did the
you.
work
I
to
started
like
doing the
essentially
work.
to heal yourself.
Right.
And
Figure out
and
how.
you had to do it for yourself and you thought
Yes.
everyone else needs this.
Right.
Is
And
that
then I
right?
became a regenerative detoxification coach because I
Okay.
wanted to understand how do we strengthen our body? How do we heal? How do we detox these ingredients out?
Mhm.
So what they taught us is how to strengthen and cleanse on a cellular level
Mhm.
because, we have 100,000 cells in our body. If you can make sure your cells are operating properly,
Yes.
everything else will work.
Yes.
Right. So that was a huge part. So I take that information when I'm researching brands, and that's helped a lot. And then I decided I want to become a naturopathic doctor because I wanted to help other
What?
people heal.
Are you a
Yes.
naturopathic doctor?
No, so I was on the path to it. I was taking my
I was like,
undergrad
hold
courses.
on, there's something I'm learning that I did not know.
I was taking biology, chemistry, genetics, all of that. And then I came across a study that said over 50% of the cosmetics sold in America and Canada contain potential carcinogens.
Mm,
And I was like, what? We already have endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors, and now we have carcinogens. What else is in our beauty care? And I just couldn't let that go.
right.
And I was like, not only are we getting sick, but men are getting sick, children, because their products are
Oh my
toxic as well.
gosh.
Everybody.
Yes.
And so I told my husband, I said, you know what? Instead of becoming a doctor, I want to help the masses.
I love this.
I want to be able to help more people out there versus what I can if I started to
Mhm.
practice.
I love this.
So, yeah. And I was like, I wish there was a safe store that I could shop. I wish somebody did all the
That's
research
it.
for me.
That's it.
Right. And
I
can just
literally
pick and
was
choose.
just thinking that, like, tell me what to buy
Yeah.
and I will buy it. Tell me what to
Yes.
wear and I will wear it.
Exactly.
But you have the burden of finding these products,
Because
right?
it was this necessity, right? I didn't want to get sick again.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I wanted to dress up. I wanted to have great
That's
skincare
right.
and hair
Because,
care.
like, I think sometimes I feel like things have changed now, but like in the very beginning of this, you would find something that was like actually clean and actually organic and that was actually healthy for your skin, but it wouldn't give you coverage.
No.
Or it would like just like the
Right.
bare minerals, right?
Melt
Like
off.
they would just melt off or it would just like
Yes.
wipe off or blow off or who knows.
Yes.
And then so it would detract a lot of people, me included,
Yeah.
to saying, hey, I want to be full face all the time.
Yeah.
So I ultimately would make that decision, right? And many other women would like
Exactly.
ultimately make a decision to go with those probably more toxic brands because that's what we
It
really wanted
it performed how
in the
you
name of
wanted
beauty,
to. Yes,
right?
exactly. Or it shot well. It looked great on camera. That's what we need. And so
That's
that's
right.
what we
And then as
went
we get
for.
older, we get like fine lines and color marks. Like we just need a little bit more. But you've
Exactly.
done the work to actually find these healthy brands. We'll call them healthy
Yes.
brands
Yeah, safe,
that we
healthy.
can actually apply. You're still on the
Right.
lookout for
Right.
my self tanner.
I am.
I need the self
Yes, yeah.
tanner because this is like the one habit I cannot get rid of. I'm
Yes.
like skincare or like poisoning myself. Which one? Or am I kind of
It's about right. You're
doing
like,
both?
well, I'm
Like
balancing
I
it
don't
out.
know which one's the
It's
best.
better than full
That's right.
toxins. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And
something else I wanted to share with you is
what's that?
during that whole time when I told my husband, okay, I am going to create it because it doesn't exist. This clean, safe beauty store. The large brands out there, they don't care. They care about the bottom line, right?
Right.
I care. So as I was doing that, my younger sister was pregnant with triplets
Oh yes.
last year, which is crazy. And she asked for me, for safe skincare because I didn't realize that there's a lot of toxins that can impact pregnancy. And
Mhm.
it crosses through the placenta and it can
Mhm.
affect the baby, the fetus, and cause birth defects.
Wow.
That was a huge eye opener.
Wow.
Yes. I
Wait,
was like,
say that again?
yes. So there are toxins that can cross through the placenta
By what we're putting on our
on our
bodies
skin because 60% absorbs into our
that
bloodstream.
can cause
Birth
birth
defects.
defects.
And that I was like, okay,
That's
so
chilling.
which brand? I'm like, did you ask your
Yeah,
OB
what
which
brands are
brands?
they
And she said, no, my OB gave me a list of 50 toxins or
that
ingredients.
she had to go
And
find?
imagine you're pregnant. That's the last thing you
Already
want to do.
overwhelmed.
You don't want to go searching, looking up ingredients, standing in the
Wow.
aisle. So I told her, I was like, you know what? I vow that all of the products that we offer at Alani Organics are safe enough for even pregnant women
I love that.
to
Because
use.
that's a
Nursing
different
moms,
measure.
yes. Or if you're going through fertility treatments, I went through IVF.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make sure you don't have extra estrogen in your body or extra, you don't want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure your hormones are in balance. It's very important.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And so you are on this mission to
Yes.
create like the Sephora,
The clean
the
Sephora, the
clean
actually clean
Sephora, the
Sephora.
Sephora for clean organic. I
Same.
love this when
Yes,
you said
thank
this
you.
because I also am such a proponent of like, and I said it already, like, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah. Tell me what to
And
get.
when you cut out the work, for the consumer and you're like, this is
Mhm.
it, then I feel like that it's so necessary and so needed. So what did you do before this?
So before this, I've done
You're like, before
a
I
lot of
got sick
things.
and
Right.
went on the pursuit of like
Yes.
clean everything. What did you do? Like, what's your
Before,
background?
yes. So right before I worked for a company that had a marketplace of professionals. So for example, you wanted a second opinion from a mechanic, a vet, a doctor, a lawyer.
Oh,
It's amazing. You would go on the platform, you go online, type in your question, and then you would be paired up with a professional that would answer it.
interesting.
Right? It's fascinating. And so I was in charge of finding the teams, building the teams that would go acquire these experts,
Mm,
vet them,
mm-hmm,
make sure they do have their license, in good standing.
mm-hmm.
They are who they are. They have the credentials.
Yeah. Okay.
Vet them, onboard them to the platform, and help them learn how to answer these questions to the customers. And then before
Wow.
that, I've worked in operations, client relations, finance, in the finance industry and retail industry as well. So I feel like my
You've done all, yeah,
background.
that's exactly what I was getting at. Like, because
Mhm.
it's one thing to say, like, I'm on this mission to like create this like clean Sephora, or I've done the research and there's a lot that goes into that. But running a business, just the business side of things is
Yes,
very different, right? Like you have
exactly.
the passion and the mission, but you have to have some type of business expertise.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that really, your background's really allowed you to kind of lift this thing
Bring it
up.
all, yes, and really take off pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
We've
I
been
mean, only a
a year and a
year.
half. Yeah, we have 8
Right.
brands already.
8 brands.
Yes.
So what
Yeah.
are you looking for now? Are you sort of like, if someone wanted to engage with you or they said, "Hey, I have something," what are the requirements to work with you? And if someone was interested in connecting, like what would that look like?
Yeah, amazing. They can reach out to me. They can reach out through Instagram DM or at support at Alani Organics or AlaniOrganics.com. And I would, first ask them, can you send me your website? I want to look at the ingredients. I do
Yeah.
my research
Yeah.
on the ingredients. And then once that passes, then I want to get on a Zoom call with the founders and ask them, why did you create this?
Right.
Why are you still creating it? Do you
Hmm.
have integrity to make sure you retain the high quality ingredients, or are you going to sell out? Right? I
Right.
get it. Things are expensive. Quality ingredients are
Are
increasing.
you
Prices are
serious?
increasing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you plan on exiting? What does that look like? Because then the new owner might not have that same passion, might not care, and they'll
Right.
start changing ingredients for lower quality ones
Right.
just to have a bigger margin. So I really want to understand their passion behind it, and are they committed? And then they bring me some samples and I test it.
You
I
test
test it
it.
on my skin because I have very sensitive skin.
Hmm.
But before that, also,
Hmm.
I test the pH of
Mm.
that product 'cause pH is very important.
Okay.
That's what I learned in my detox courses. Our skin, the top of our skin has a natural pH of 5.2, 5.3. So you want to make sure that the skin products you put on isn't too acidic
Okay.
or too alkaline.
Okay.
It could cause peelness, dryness,
Hmm.
or breakouts as
Hmm.
well, which is
Hmm.
what was going on with me back
And that makes
then.
sense because we're like, do you have oily skin or do you have really
Yes.
dry skin? And
Everyone
you're
asks
really
you,
looking for
right.
the balance. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And then also because 60% of the products we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream pH is between 7.3 and 7.4, which is kind of right in the middle of the pH scale. You have 0, which is very acidic, and then 14,
Okay.
very alkaline. 7 is right in the middle. Our blood is 7.3,
Yeah.
7.4. So if 60% of what we put on our skin is absorbing into our bloodstream, we don't want it to be too alkaline also, or too acidic. So we make sure we use a medical grade pH tool that measures the pH of the skin
Good.
product as well.
So you're not just like saying, like taking their word for it, right? You're like, okay, prove it to me.
Yes.
We're going to test this. We're going to make sure that there is integrity. We want to make sure that it's, you have longevity and that you have proof of
Yes.
concept and
Right.
it's actually quality.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
are there any types of specific products? I know you have teas. I know you
Do
have
wellness, yeah.
sprays. I know you have lip balms. There's all types of things. What are sort of
Yes.
like what's the spectrum of what you would take in for a product?
New products. So yeah, right
Mhm.
now we have great brands for skincare and body care. Now we've added 2 brands for perfume,
Mm.
natural oils perfume, right? Because fragrance
Oh,
and perfumes,
this is very
that's very
important.
dangerous.
Mhm.
Exactly. So what we're looking now is hair care
Okay.
products. People have different hair types, so we want to make sure we can provide the right products for them that is still clean, natural, and non-toxic.
Right.
That's been challenging to find. I have
Interesting.
one shampoo from one brand.
Interesting.
The conditioner,
That still
that's
works
still,
because it's not only like,
yes.
is it just going to be like, it's like when you had the deodorant and you would like go with like natural deodorant, but you would like, you would still be like,
Yes.
whew,
Wow. Is
Georgina,
that
what
me?
are you wearing?
I've
You're like,
never.
oh, that's me.
How is that? And we actually just
But
launched. We're
that's
gonna
so
launch. Yes,
important.
exactly. We're gonna launch a line next week. We're gonna announce it. So a little sneak
You
peek
are?
of a deodorant line. Yes. Oh
Oh,
my gosh, I've been looking far,
nice.
and far. So hair care. If you guys are out there and you have amazing
And
hair
self
products,
tanner, please.
please, and self tanner.
Just
Yes,
for
we
me.
need it.
I'll buy it all.
Exactly. So we want to really offer a lot more products, a lot more variety. So we want to be the one-stop shop,
That's
right?
it.
Make it
All
easy,
the things.
safe, and convenient for
What was the
people to
first
shop.
product that you launched with?
Skincare, because
Skincare.
of my
What's the
breakouts.
one, like, what is
It,
what is it? What was it?
yes, it was Dr. Alkaidi's
Okay.
brand. They're amazing. So when I got exposed to them, I tried it on my skin, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
Did
And
it
I
did
actually,
it feel different?
yes, it felt
Like
like my skin was
velvet?
breathing.
Breathing? Yeah.
And it
Mm.
wasn't oily, it was wonderful. And actually, I had an incident the day before my birthday last year. No, the year before. The day before my birthday, I broke out in hives, rashes.
Wow.
You can see it on the website. I actually
You have
have
like
a
a
video.
before?
Yeah, this is a before.
Oh
And I
my
freaked
gosh.
out and I cried. And I told my husband, cancel all my plans. I am so fed up with this. What is going on?
Yeah.
As I was going through the process of finding brands,
Mm.
I put Dr. Alkaidi's the whole line on. And what's amazing is he actually created it for his daughter.
Okay.
His daughter had cystic acne, and she was using
Mm.
natural products at the time. When he looked at it, he's like, "This is going
It's
to
not.
hurt you." And his motto is, "If you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your skin."
I think that's actually a great motto.
Right?
A great
Yeah. Is it?
motto.
Obviously, you're not going to eat it and consume it, but is it safe enough to
Yeah.
ingest? Your body isn't going to
Yep.
see it as poison.
What about
Yes.
people with different skin tones? Is there, I think like I look at like maybe my sister-in-law who's super super sensitive skin, or brown skin versus very pale skin versus with like a yellow undertone or a red undertone. Like when you're looking at skincare or like
Yeah.
any type of makeup line or anything like that, how is Alani Organics like representing
For
for all?
all skin
Yeah.
types, right? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for makeup, it's a little bit different, right? You have different shades, but skin is skin. A skin cell is a skin cell. So, what does that skin cell need? It needs hydration, it needs nutrients, and also needs to detox and eliminate its waste.
Right.
So, how do we support that? That's what we look for in the ingredients. And when it comes to also the learnings I had from the detox class, how do we cleanse and support on a cellular level?
Oh, I love that.
And that way, these products, they're great for all skin types.
That's great. I want to go into a couple of questions, really on like the business side of things. So
Yes.
you've been around for a little over a year.
Yes.
You've been growing and growing and growing. How are you managing the growth right now? And especially with expecting twins, which I'm so excited for. Like I'm excited to
Yes.
be like a little Auntie Sarah here.
Absolutely.
But how are you managing growth?
That has been a challenge because I want to do everything at the same
I
time,
know you do.
right? It's just me.
I know you do.
Yes.
You're like, yes, 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 yes.
I'll do this,
Because
I'll
you're
do
so
that.
excited and passionate, right?
Yeah.
And I say like for the younger in business owner who's
Right.
maybe in that like 0 to 5 year range, you want to do everything.
You do. You
And
can't.
right. How are
And
you
that,
managing
yes,
it?
and that I had to come to a realization. I can't do everything. So what are the top 3 tasks that are going to be impactful for
Mm.
the business? We're talking business right now, right? What's going
Mhm.
to move the needle? What gets you closer to that dollar?
Yeah, the dollar.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that you just said that because sometimes the want and the need and
Yeah.
then the dollar, they're all 3 separate things,
Right. Like
right?
you want maybe, oh, I want to do a beautiful photo shoot and have more content. Okay, great, but how's that going to get you closer to the dollar?
Correct, right? Because there's one thing to like sit there and look pretty, and that's really fun because as women, we love to like
Yeah.
get glammed up. So many of us do. But like if it's not for purpose and it's
Mhm.
not going to like bring back into the marketing or enhance it in some way,
Yes.
what a great
Yes.
thing.
Also social media, right? The content you put out there. Yes, you want to inform your audience and give them value, but also is that going to drive them to the solutions you have to offer them?
Yeah,
So things
I
like
love
that. So
that.
really the top 3 things are impactful. Like I did my first growth strategy last
Hmm.
year, and that was the first time doing it, and also forecasting budgeting. And I really had to just refine it to like
Hmm.
top 3 big
Yep.
impactful
Well,
things.
because it's like so easy to get like so spread out,
Yeah.
right? And I think like as a seasoned business owner who's been building business for a long time, even I go through that, right? Because I'm a
Yes.
visionary and I'm very excited
Yes.
about all the things. And
Yes.
there's times when you like sit back and you're like, whoa, how did we get here?
too
We were
too
supposed to be here.
much.
We're way over here. Time to bring it back, right?
Yes,
But I love that you
exactly.
said this. Like, if you're very intentional from the get
Mhm.
go and you're doing
Right.
regular check ins with
Yes.
yourself or your team or whatever it is, then you can really,
Yes.
you're not all the way over here and you got to get back to here. You're maybe
Right.
just over here and you can get back.
And setting expectations too,
Yeah.
not only for myself, but my teammates too, the agencies that we work with or the
Mhm.
content creators. What do I really want? What do we really want to create out of this? But clear expectations, because what I
Mhm.
have in my mind, maybe I don't verbalize it
Yeah.
properly, and they're thinking something else.
Correct.
Like just
Being on
this,
the same page.
yeah, this morning with my makeup artist, I was like, oh, I want a little berry, lipstick. She goes, well, what's your definition of berry versus
Right.
mine? I'm like, oh,
My
you're
berry is
right.
dark. Your berry,
Yes.
it is so
So with your
true.
teammates, right?
So
You
true.
might say, "Oh my gosh, we have this plan to do this and this and that, and we want to have a giveaway maybe online." They might have a different idea of what a giveaway looks. So
Correct.
really clearly,
Articulating.
yes, yeah. And then once you have those clearly defined, you can always go back to them as you're checking in with the team. Where are we? What's our goal? Are we close to it? Are we not? Are we
Hmm.
50% of the way or not? Then you can pivot
Yeah.
quickly versus waiting until the very end
Yeah.
and you have a whole quarter
Well,
go
and
by.
it takes a long time when you recognize you're off track. It takes a long time, sometimes 10 times longer to get back on track, right?
Yes, especially if you don't have those clear,
That's right.
deliverables.
What's one thing that you're saying no to this year?
Ooh. I'm saying no to things that don't align with our growth strategy. So
Mm,
something that we're doing, so we're very
that's
excited.
really
We're
good.
yeah, it's
Well, that's exactly why you need the growth strategy because it really
yes.
is helps it become clear.
Right.
So tell me, what are you
So
doing?
one of the things is, so if anybody's out there, we are looking for a full-time marketer to come and
Okay.
help build the strategy, and get Alani out
Brand
there.
manager,
Yes,
someone who's
yeah.
really great and seasoned in
Marketing,
marketing.
sales, and ads.
Mhm.
Someone who has experience with that.
Mm.
So that's very exciting.
I love
Bringing
that.
on that.
Hire out
Yes.
what you cannot do or you're not a genius in,
Right.
right?
Yes, that was a good learning curve too, because I'm like, well, do I want to take
Do you
years
teach
to
do you
learn
teach yourself how to do
marketing?
Facebook
Right, or
ads?
you find someone.
Yeah,
Yes, because I know what I'm good at and I can just, dive deep
I love
on
this.
that.
I
Also,
love
something
this.
else is building my personal brand story. You have your brand
Yes.
and then you have your personal brand
Yep.
as well. So we're hiring a team to help me do more of these, create reels, share my
Right.
story.
Well, I mean, so much
Yes.
of the founding of your business is really your experience. So it's so
Yes.
important. And then I think so many people will resonate with it because they're probably encountering the same thing or have,
Right.
and they're looking for solutions and you become like the trusted provider.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's another thing too. It's like, how do we find people who are looking for these products? How do they find us and us find them? That's been a challenge
So you
as
just told
well.
me everything that I'm going to call you out right now, Georgina. Like you just told me everything that you're saying yes to. You didn't tell me what you're saying no to.
Right. Okay. So,
What are you
well,
saying
yeah.
no to?
And nothing that's on that growth strategy.
You're like, if it's not in the growth
plan,
strategy, but like,
right.
what is there? Has
Oh,
there
so
been
like
something that like
big, well, so I'm pregnant, right?
Yeah.
5 months pregnant. I already understand that things are going to change once the twins come in June or July.
Mhm.
So I am saying no to things that will stress me out even more
There
so.
you go. No stress.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. So a lot of events, unfortunately, I've had to say no to, and
Yeah.
just make it realistic. Like, hey, I don't know if I will be there or not.
Mhm.
Right. We've talked about
Yep.
that
And it
too.
has to have impact, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I
As
love
well. Yeah. I'm
that.
not traveling. I'm not flying
Mhm.
anywhere. So I'm saying no to events that are out of Arizona. Just keeping it
Mhm.
local here, like nesting.
I actually really love that because it's all about the seasons,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you and the pivot too, because sometimes
Yes.
you're thinking you're in the season and you're not ready for the season to change, or you're so ready for the season to change, and no matter how prepared you are for that to happen, it changes.
Yeah.
And then your set of no's changes along with the season,
Yes. And
right?
maybe I'll add other yeses that I said no to
Right.
later on.
Or
But right
after
now.
the babies come and
Right.
and you are, in a different state or a different
Yeah.
season, then
And
clearly,
then maybe talking more about, hey, now I'm a mom
right.
with twins. What are we using on their skincare, right? How do
That's
we
right.
find the safe products for them?
You're one of the most positive, joyous people I've ever met. Like,
Thank you.
you really are. I mean, you can see anybody who's watching this, like, you literally glow and radiate joy. How do you stay positive?
That's a good question. So
You're like, I don't know,
well,
actually. No, really.
gratitude, huge on that. Gary Vee talks about that all the time,
So is
and
this
it
a daily
is
practice for you?
true. Now it has been. Before, my parents instilled that in us because they
Mm-hmm.
immigrated into the U.S. when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They left a war-torn country. There
Mm-hmm.
was famine. There was no food in the grocery stores. They had to line up every Sunday with their little ID card that said how many people were in their family. They would give it to an officer, and an officer would say, okay, for example, you have 3 people in your family and 1 baby. You get 1 pound of rice, 2 pounds of beans, half a pound of sugar,
Based off of the
2 rolls of
size.
toilet paper, rations.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to survive on that for a week. And then the next week you'd come and get the same thing again. So they left that. They came to the US, and everyone who helped them, they were so grateful.
Yeah.
They were so thankful. And they always told us, anyone who helps you, no matter how small the gesture, you should thank them. You should be appreciative and grateful. And then, watching Gary Vee too, he tells us when you're stressed out, take a couple breaths and then start listing things you're grateful
I
for.
love that.
Like, for example, if you had a crazy busy day, you're overwhelmed, there's too much going on. At the end of the day, you have a sink full of dishes. And you're like,
That's
I don't want
whatever.
to
It's
do
fine,
that.
right?
But you have to because it's been accumulating. You're like, gosh, I have to. I take 3 breaths, 3 seconds through the nose, 3 seconds out through the mouth. And then I change that. I say, I get to do the dishes,
It's all
even
about
if I don't want
It's
to.
all about
I
perspective.
get to do the dishes, and then I
Mhm.
start listing, well, why are you grateful that you get to do the dishes at 9 o'clock
Mm,
at night? And I'm
I
like,
love this so much.
okay, I'm grateful that I have a house, roof over my head. I'm grateful I have electricity. I have running water. I have dish soap.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I own these dishes that I could
And you
eat
can just
out.
go down the
Yes,
line,
you
right?
have a dishwasher and it's working. You have to wash it by hand. So then at the end, I'm like, oh, I
It's really
feel
not that
better.
bad.
It's not that bad. Right. I'm grateful
Um,
I'm at home and I can talk to my husband. I can see my puppy while I'm doing this. Right.
right.
And then by the time you know it, you're done. You're like, oh, that only took
I
five,
love that.
10 minutes
That's
maybe.
awesome.
But it's that perspective, changing your words,
Mhm.
and then grateful, just
Mhm.
being thankful, yeah, for
Oh
life.
my
We do live in
gosh.
an amazing country here. We
We
have
do.
amazing people, so let's be thankful for those
That's right.
things. Yeah.
It's always like look at the positive.
Yes, other
I
people probably wish they were in our shoes. They would
That's it.
trade lives with us in instant. Yeah.
Man, thank you so much for being
Oh my
here.
God, Sarah,
Oh,
thank you. I feel like we could talk forever.
I know we
This was
really could.
amazing.
Coming soon, because what we're
Yes.
going to do is this is just part one. So
Oh,
there's going to be
okay.
a part two, and we're going to kind of fast forward and let some time happen. We're going to watch you grow this brand. I mean,
Okay.
you are one of our Boost Your Business Grant winners. You weren't
Yes.
pregnant when
No, I
you got
wasn't at that time.
grant. You're
No.
pregnant now, but that doesn't mean, and nothing is going to work. Fearless boss women that get things done.
Keep
And I
going.
cannot wait to see the evolution of this brand,
Thank you.
especially now with two that it's going to create other opportunities like expansions, like brand
Yes.
expansions. Here we go.
Literally.
I can't
Yes,
wait.
and figuratively. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, how
Thank
do
you,
they find
Sarah.
you? Say how they find you. Let's
Yes,
do
so
that
you
first.
can find it. So our website, Alani Organics, ALANI Organics.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Alani _organics. or email us at support@alaniorganics.com.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you, lady.
Oh, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you.
You too.